So it's good to be back. It really is. It's good to be back making tutorial videos again. COVID has been an interesting time. It really has. Do apologize for not putting out more videos. Like I said, COVID's been pretty interesting. You know, had me slammed with just a bunch of different stuff, pulling from a bunch of different ways. As you can see, I'm in a new place now. So there's that. You know, I ended up being on part of a crew for a movie. Whoops. Hold on. There we go. It's been an interesting few months. I don't think I've put a video out since April? Has it been? I don't know. It's been since April, but it's been a while. But I'm back, and I got a good one for you guys. A really good one. So, this one has been requested by quite a few of my friends on Facebook for a while now, and it's skin retouching, specifically frequency separation. Now, we all know this frequency separation is all the rage now. Everybody kind of does their own little thing with it. And today I'm gonna show you how I do mine. If you look at my previous videos, you saw I used a system called Ultimate Retouch. I really don't use that anymore. It was a very good like click and go kind of setup. Worked really well for me, but I needed something a little bit more fine-tuned to my style of editing. So I did a lot of research on how a bunch of other people do their frequency retouching and how this person does and this person does it and all the different ways of doing it. And I kind of came up with my own little method, so to speak, my own methodology on how to do it. So I'm gonna show you guys how I do mine right here, right now. Let's get into it. So this is the image we're gonna use here today. It's of our lovely talent, Dominique. She's an amazing dancer and model. I need to put that in there now, and model. I will link her Instagram down below so you guys can go check her out. But this is a photo we shot a little while ago. I think I've used her in some previous videos, don't remember. But this is what we're gonna do. Now, as you can see, I've already got the image pretty much done as far as the skin part done. So if you guys would like to follow along using this particular image, I do have it in the description down below. You guys can check that out. Go ahead and download it. It is the raw CR2 file. So have at it. That way you guys can follow right along with all the detail that I'm doing and everything, because you know raws are just yeah, they are. They're just glorious. So once we're done with actual skin retouching, this is what it's gonna look like. Remember, it's gonna go from here, which is the raw image, to here. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in a group. And if you wanna go ahead and follow along, I do have this raw image available for download on my website. That link will also be in the description. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this group invisible. Now this is straight out the camera, plain, raw, no color grade, no nothing, right? So our first step one, we're gonna make a copy of this background layer here. Remember, always do non-destructive editing. Yes, you're gonna have more layers, but it's gonna save you a lot of headache if you ever mess up. Now what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna name this Big Details, because this is the layer we're gonna use to go ahead and just knock out those big details. All right, I'm gonna go zoom in here, just like stuff like this. These little blemishes up here, it's gonna knock those out real quick. Now to do that, now there's two ways we can do this. Either we can use our patch tool here, or we can use our clone stamp tool here. If you guys wanna be like really fast, the patch tool would be best in this situation. You can go scoop, scoop, scoop. I got like a whole video on how to skin retouch using the patch tool right here. You can go ahead and check that out. But we're trying to be as clean and detailed as possible right now. So we're gonna stick with the clone stamp tool and move forward with that. Now I'm gonna increase the size of my brush and decrease my hardness. Now, the way I'm doing this is I'm hitting my Alt, or if you're on Mac, Option, and you're gonna right click. And by going left to right, you increase the diameter. If you go up and down, you increase the hardness or the feather. Now I'm gonna keep my feather on probably like 15 and bring my diameter down because I don't wanna take too much. I'm gonna hold Alt and click the patch of skin I want and just kind of come over it. There. Let's zoom out. Good. And I'm not gonna worry too much about this discoloration here because I'm actually gonna take care of that once we get to the frequency separation part. And here, knock this out too. Go ahead and get all of this. Yeah. And now that all the big details are taken care of, we're gonna go ahead and use our Photoshop action to go ahead and initiate our frequency separation. So if you guys haven't downloaded this action yet, it is in the description down below. It's a link to it on my website. You can go ahead and get it. Super easy, follow along, and it's free. You can't beat free, right? What we're gonna do is go up here to this little play button here. Now, once you have it downloaded, all you have to do is go to this little hamburger menu right here, click it, and we're gonna go to Load Actions. Now it's gonna come up into your default folder for your Photoshop actions, but all you have to do is navigate, click the one you want, and click Load, and it'll pop right in here. It's that easy. Now, once it's in here, you'll see an 8-bit version and you'll see a 16-bit version. Now, what does this mean? 8-bit and 16-bit are your color channels. So what you're gonna do is, just to make sure which one you're on, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to Image, Mode, and you have 8-bit, 16-bit, and 32-bit. We're working in 16-bit with this image, so we're gonna click here, and we're just gonna click our little play button. Now when it comes up, this does use Gaussian blur. So what we're gonna do is come out here, because you see it's kind of zoomed in on her hand. We don't wanna do that. Just wanna zoom in on a rough part here. Yeah, and you kind of want to bring this over until you no longer see the details. All right, there should work. Yeah. Usually for my image, it's roughly somewhere between 10 and 11, or 10 and 12. All right, here we go. So once you drop down the folder, you'll have 2 different layers, high frequency and low. Now what this is, your high frequency are all your details. Go ahead and take these out. As you can see, these are all your details in one single layer. Now, the low frequency are all your colors, your tones. And when you combine them, you have your image. So now on this part, for the most part, we're just gonna be working pretty much in the low frequency, because we kind of want to preserve these details as much as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and make that invisible, make a copy of this layer, and we're gonna call this layer Mix. Now, why are we calling it Mix? Because at this point, I use my mixer brush. Well, technically I use a combination between the mixer brush and the patch tool, but primarily I just use a mixer brush. Now what this will do is all these little bumps in here, it'll go ahead and smooth all of that out, but you have to be very careful, because if these numbers are set too high, you'll just smudge everything around. So what you want to do is go up here to wet, load, mix, all of these, and just set them all, make sure they're all in 10%. It'll save you a lot of trouble. We're gonna go ahead and increase our diameter, make sure our hardness is still at 0. And we're just gonna kind of paint or smudge in circles. Now, why are we gonna do it in circles? Because what this does is it literally smudges the colors around. See, if I keep doing this, what'll happen is this will get lighter. Or if I bring this over, you see how it gets darker? We don't want that. We kind of want the colors to stay where they are. So that's why we're just kind of doing them in circles, because it just smudges everything within that area. Kind of smudges them within itself. And you just want to do it in small circles. And just so you can see what this little patch looks like, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the high frequency again. And boom. Oh, forgot to turn this back on. See the difference? Now, to make sure this video doesn't get too monotonous, I'm just gonna kind of speed it up a little bit. You know, I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to sit here and watch me smudge this girl's face for the next 10 minutes. So yeah, I'll go ahead and see you guys in a bit. All right, and we are done. We've gotten all her skin. Actually, I want to get a little bit of her chin. There we go. Bring our details back. And you can see a massive difference from our before and our after. Now, she did an amazing job on her makeup, but later down the road, I'm actually gonna touch this up a little bit more, which I probably will get into in a different video, because this isn't a video about makeup enhancements. So why do I feel my method is a little bit different? Well, it's a combination of both the mixer technique, which is a pretty old technique, a few years old now, as well as the PHP technique, combined with a couple other tips and tricks I picked up along the way. And if you guys don't know what the PHP method is, PHP stands for patching, healing, and polishing. It's a 3-step method that's pretty much foolproof when it comes to frequency separation. If you guys want me to put together a video on that, just let me know down below and I'll get right on it. Now, generally, most of the patching is done down here in my mix layer, but I really need to do that with her. I will need to get rid of this scar in just a moment, and I'm gonna show you guys how I do that. And our next step, which will normally be healing, and what that'll do is that'll go through and I'll take care of any other minor details you may have missed. But it looks like the mix layer kind of took care of most of everything that we need to take care of outside of this scar right here. And then for my last layer, it'll be polishing. Now, with this particular image, for the polishing part, the only thing I really want to take care of again is the scar, and as well as these bumps on her nose stand a little too much out for me. Now, with this part, with her nose, I really don't want to get rid of the bumps per se, because then it'll just look fake. And nobody likes fake. It'll look like a porcelain doll, and that's just ill. No, it's horrible. I hate it when people do that. We need it to look natural. So let me go ahead and show you guys how I'm gonna do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually take my high frequency layer, because that's where everything is. As you can see, that's where a lot of those details are. And I just made a copy of it. Why do I make a copy of it? Again, non-destructive editing. So we're gonna call this polish. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my mixer brush again, and I'm just gonna mix these down. I don't want to get rid of them all the way because then it'll look completely fake, which is what we don't want. So we're just going to minimize them. And for the sake of time, I'm not gonna have you guys sit here while I do her entire nose and scar. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up. As you can see, I overshot it a little bit. It's a little too soft here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring back my high frequency layer. And then I'm gonna give it a layer mask. I'm gonna invert that layer mask using Control or Command I. And with my brush tool, opacity set to 10, I'm just gonna kind of paint in here and bring back some of these details. I'm sorry. With my color set to white, because I did invert it, I'm just gonna bring back some of these details. Not a lot, but some. So actually bring this down to 5. Or actually, I don't have to. I could just drop my opacity. There we go. That should do it. That's what that looks like. Still a little too soft. Let's bring that up in here. There we go. That matches. That's perfect. Now I want you guys to keep in mind that this part of the editing process, this is still the beginning. This is technically still step 1 through a multi-step process to your final composition. In my mind, we're nowhere near complete. Now, you can at this point call it, and the image would be obviously great. You can call it right here. This gives you a nice solid blank canvas, and there's still a lot of painting that can be done here. So before I end this video, I wanna go ahead and show you guys that part. It's not gonna be a whole kind of swath through how I do it. Just kind of, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-do it, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of have the layers preset for you just to kind of see what else can be done. And then at some point I'll do a video with the full process beginning to end of how I do images like these. Now I've gone ahead and already added the extra enhancements just to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about when I'm saying you could keep going with these photos, all right? So this is just the dodge and burn that I added. You see how it really enhances the gold in her skin. I also enhanced the eyeshadow as well, really popped the reds, those really, really deep reds and browns in here. And then I also did the lips as well and really brought out the red in her lips. Now this can go whatever way you want. You don't have to do it this way. You don't have to make it red like I did. You could leave them nude. You can freaking make them whatever color you want. It's up to you. And I do all this before I even get to the color grading part, which generally I do in Lightroom. And with that, we are done. We have our beautiful composition of Diamonique. But before you guys go, I would like to say thank you for watching this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell icon, and make sure you click all posts so you don't miss any future videos, because I plan on having a lot more out here. Not just tutorials, but you know, little film stuff I do on the side, photos, like speed edits, time-lapse edits, a couple other things. Also, I just launched on my website. I have a preset pack now. There's five packs currently, all for Lightroom Classic. I'm also gonna be doing some for Lightroom Mobile, as well as Premiere and Photoshop. So just make sure you guys stay tuned to that. Subscribe to my mailing list so you guys get notified when I do that. I have a TikTok now. My friend convinced me to get a TikTok. So I have a TikTok. I'm a TikToker. TikTok. Yeah. But follow me on TikTok. My name's in the description or right here. I'll just put it right here. Hey. Again, thank y'all for joining me. And I will catch you guys in the next video. See ya.